Consider a web application that uses ugly fonts, bad spacing, awkward positioning, but that has JavaScript code that adds interactivity to the page. Now consider the reverse, a beautifully designed web application, but one that's missing the key ingredient of interactivity. So a user enters their username and password, but nothing happens. A form is submitted, but nothing happens. A shopper tries to add a product to their cart, but the product just remains where it was on the page. So those scenarios point out why JavaScript is the key ingredient in web programming. As you get deeper into these exercises, the focus will keep shifting to JavaScript. In this exercise, you'll get a little more experience with one particular use of JavaScript, actually generating HTML to go on the page. Why should we use JavaScript for creating the HTML? Shouldn't we just write it in the index.html file? Yes, normally. But there are many cases where we don't know what HTML needs to appear on the page until something happens. We call the time when we write the HTML and CSS design time. We call the time when the code is up and running runtime. Some HTML can only be determined at runtime. For example, what if a user attempts to log into the web app you've built? You need to tell them that their attempt failed. Possibly you'll want to provide a link for a forgotten password. But you can't know whether that needs to appear on the page until the user actually fails to enter the correct username and password. And when does this happen? At runtime. In this exercise, you'll be given a contrived example of needing to add HTML at runtime. Why use a contrived example? Well, you don't know enough yet to deal with a real-world use case, but you'll get there. You'll get there before you finish the exercises, but for this one, just absorb the mechanics of using JavaScript to add HTML to the web page at runtime. And I'll see you in exercise 6.